皆さん寝れましたか？
How'd you guys sleep?
あんまり寝てないかな。
Seems like nobody slept.
そうです。昨日さきちゃんがなんだっけ、ボートの変化について話してくれましたね。
You guys remember yesterday when Saki-chan shared about the changes?
変化ここに書いてもらったんですけど、後ろの方に書いてもらいましたね。
You guys wrote down your changes and you put them up here on this paper that's behind there?
現在のことについては人を手を挙げてください。
Is there anybody that wrote about a change that's happening right now?
この貼ったやつで、現在、今起きていること。はい。過去について書いた人。
Is there anybody who wrote about a change that's in the past?
なるほど。わかりました。ありがとうございます。向こう岸に何書きましたか、皆さん。反対側、向こう岸に何書きましたか。
What did you write on the other side of your paper, like on the B side where you were going to?
中学校って書いてる人いましたね。
Was there anybody that wrote they're going to middle school?
そうですね。だから今日はですね、その聖書の続きの話をしたいと思います。
So today we're going to continue with the same passage.
イエス様が向こう岸渡ろうって言った後ですね。
Jesus said, "Let's go across the boat, right? Across the lake, right?"
何が起きたかって37節。
And so what happened? Let's see here in verse 35.
すると激しい突風が起こって波で船の中に波が船の中に入って船は水でいっぱいになった。
Right there. Leaving the crowd behind, they took him along just as he was in the boat. A furious squall came up, and the waves broke over the boat, so that it was nearly swamped.
さっきが言ったように何かが変わるということはボートに乗って湖を渡ることに似てますね。
So just as Saki shared with us, changes are kind of like getting on a boat and going from one place to another.
僕は次の波何かなって考えました。
And then we
波は何に似ているかなって考えました。
and so we want to think about what are the waves like? What are they similar to?
そしたら僕は波は変化の時に感じる感情に似てるなと思いました。
And Shorty thinks that maybe waves are kind of like the way that your emotions go up and down as you experience changes.
嵐のようにアップダウンしたり、沈んだり濡れたり大変ですね。
It's really hard sometimes to go up and down and to be kind of moved around by your emotions during your changes, isn't it?
でもその時に大事なのはその感情、自分の嵐の中にいる感情に気づくことだと思います。
But it's really important to understand what you're feeling when you're in the middle of the storm.
変化の時に感情で心の中がいっぱいになることがたくさんあると思います。
There's lots of different things that are going on in your heart as you experience the storm, and your heart begins to fill up with those things.
例えば引っ越しだったら、もしいい気持ちかもしれないし、ネガティブな気持ちになるかもしれません。
So if your family's moving, then maybe there's some things about it that are really good feelings, and maybe also at the same time have some really difficult feelings about
楽
it.
しいところかな、部屋広いかなとかワクワクします。
You might be excited thinking about the future. Man, it's going to be fun. And what about my room? Maybe it's going to be bigger than the one that I had before.
でももしかすると友達できるかなとかそうやって心配するかもしれません。
But at the same time, you might be worried, oh, am I going to be able to make any friends? And lots of different things like that about your change.
友達が引っ越してしまった。
Maybe if your transition was one where your friend moved away.
また会いたいなとかまた同じような友達ができるかなって心配します。
Maybe you're a little worried. Man, I really wish I could meet up with that person again. Or am I ever going to be able to make a friend that was as good as that person?
また他の人はまた母国に別の国に帰らなきゃいけない。
And maybe some other people, they've had their friends move back to a different country where they were from.
その時に僕の居場所は何だろうとか自分のアイデンティティは何だろうって考えます。
And if you're the kind of person that has to go to another country and you might be wondering, what's my identity? Where's the place where I belong?
このようにいろんな感情がたくさんいっぱい変化の時に来ます。
And so, of course, whenever we have any kind of transition, these are the kinds of feelings that we have lots of different feelings at the same time.
いい気持ちもあればネガティブな大変な気持ちもありますね。
They might be good emotions, and there's also at the same time some hard, difficult emotions.
すごく難しいです。
It's really hard and complicated to be in that kind of situation.
僕が学生の時に難しかった言葉があります。理解がしづらかった言葉があります。
For Shorty, whenever he was younger, elementary school age, he had a word that was really hard for him to understand.
それは信仰という言葉です。
And that word was faith.
何でしょうか？
What is faith?
大人の人に何回も信仰信仰信仰って言われるんだけど、僕は一旦信じても疑いとか迷いが来るからです。
So lots of adults would try to explain faith to Shorty over and over and over, and every time he still couldn't quite grasp what faith was because he was kind of oscillating between two options.
一回信じたからって同じようにずっと毎日信じるわけではありませんよね。
It's not, faith is not, I believed one time and then after that I continue to believe always.
神様のこと分からなくなったり迷ったり疑ったりします。
There are times after you believe that you don't believe in God anymore. You don't understand who God is, or you wonder who God really is.
で、今になって分かるのは、信仰の中には迷い、疑い、分からないところも含まれているということです。
And so over time, Shorty was able to understand that faith is not a linear thing, but it's a kind of thing that includes believing, but also disbelieving, also being confused about who God is.
だから頭と心で理解しなきゃいけないから時間が必要なんです。
And of course, faith takes a long time because it's something you have to understand in your head and believe in your heart.
だからゆっくり信じていくことですね。
So faith is, it's okay to slowly believe in God.
みんなは変化の時にいろいろ感情出てきます。
And so whenever we have changes, we feel lots of different things, and different emotions pop up.
今聞かれても、どんな感情ですかって言うと分かんないと思います。
And sometimes people don't even know how they're feeling in the moment.
で、だったら僕は質問、分かりやすいと思うのは、寝る前に何を考えていますかって聞きます。
So maybe one way that you can kind of try to figure out what's going on in your heart, what's going on in your head, is before you go to sleep, what are the things that you think about?
楽しいことかもしれないし、悔しいかもしれない、ドキドキするかもしれない。
Sometimes we think about things that are really exciting. Sometimes we think about things that are painful. Sometimes we think about things that are nervous. Make us feel nervous.
変化の時に、注意しないと私たちも感情に溺れてしまうことがあります。
But the really important thing for us whenever we have a transition is to make sure that we don't push away our emotions.
で、心のボートの水がいっぱいになって沈んでしまうんですね。
Of course, whenever a boat gets filled up with water, then the boat sinks, right?
だったらそうしたらどうしたらいいですか、そのボートの水を。
And whenever the water gets into the boat, what do?
バケツに水を入れて、そして外に出せばいいんですね。
It's probably good to get a bucket and to start getting the water and throwing it out of the boat, right?
でも、バケツの中に何が入ってるか気づかない、どんどん出していくと大事なものも出しちゃうかもしれません。
But if you're not careful about what it is that's getting in your bucket as you're trying to throw the water out, you might accidentally throw something important out as well.
つかめるものすべて出していくと大変なことになります。
You might be in a bad shape if you just take everything that gets in your bucket and throw it out.
弟子たちは慌ててもしかすると仲間の弟子とかを海に出すかもしれません。
Maybe the disciples, when they were trying to get the water out of their boat, they grabbed another disciple and accidentally threw them out.
イエス様もまたボートから出しちゃうかもしれません。
And maybe Jesus was going to get thrown out of the boat.
だからまずボートに何があるかっていうのを気づいて、それを気づいてから出さなきゃいけないです。
So what's important is that we try to remember and recognize what it is that's in the boat and carefully think about it before we throw anything out.
だから今からジャーナルするんですけど、自分のボートにこの変化の時に重くなっている感情が何か気づくアクティビティをしましょう。
So we're going to have a little bit of journaling time like we did yesterday, and today our point is to try to think about what is in our boat that's making it feel heavy, like it's going to sink. What all is going on inside of our hearts.
なのでスモールグループに入っていきます。
So let's go to our small groups.
はい。スモールグループで、次のページにボートだけが書いてあります。
When you get into your small groups, you'll see that on the next page you have a boat.
で、その中に空白があるんですけど、そこに嵐を書いてください。
So you've got a space around the boat where there's nothing, and we want you to draw the storm around the boat.
そして嵐とあと感じている気持ちを今度変化の時に感じる気持ちを書いてください。
And also, as you're drawing the storm around the boat, if you could write out the different feelings that you have in the midst of the storm of your change.
書いてもいい、字で書いてもいいですし、絵でもいいです。
It's okay to write the words out, or if you want to try to represent it with pictures, that's fine too.
そうです。はい、スモールグループに入っていきます。
So that's what we're going to do during our small groups. You can just go to the same place as before. 前の場所に行ってもいいよ。